Now we're live, Lucas.
Okay. So stay tuned right now. We've got Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Seth is one of the stars of this new movie Neighbors that premiered premiered on Saturday night.
Hi there.
Hey.
Seth.
Nice to meet you.
You too. How's it going?
Good. Do you need to do anything? Okay. I would like to see someone quickly. Okay.
Well, Seth, do you want a little
Powder?
here?
Sure.
All right, JoJo.
Sit down for 1 second.
Yeah.
Not for me, if they want something, sure, but okay, well, yes, it is live already, so when you go in, right,
Okay.
There it is.
Morning.
Thank you.
Not me. I feel worse today.
No.
Too much to keep.
Yeah, that was me every other day.
It's crazy little thing here
A few hours ago, actually.
Lucky. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's all up 20-mile range.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
I'm sitting.
Wherever you want.
Ooh.
Not the most comfortable chair.
No, they're really uncomfortable, these chairs. Weird. And mine just inexplicably is going to keep tilting towards you.
Wave like this.
Got one right. Is anybody else coming? I keep my maybe if I keep.
It's all about how you position yourself.
Yeah. I'm turning. I'll
I
hold on.
think these are supposed to encourage good
I'll
posture.
hold on to Evan.
How long are you guys sticking around for?
I leave tomorrow. Yeah. Are we on? He said he was
Yeah.
live as soon as we sit down. This is it. This is the show.
We're live, but I'm going to wait for Evan
Okay.
to do it formally.
But it's still live.
But it's
It is
still
still
happening.
So this
Good.
is happening actively.
This is
now.
happening.
If you go to the wrap right now,
You are seeing this.
Yeah.
So it's not. You only get 1/3 of what's supposed to be happening now.
Well, you better hurry up and get yourself ready, Evan.
Then I don't get. Okay.
Too late to stop. It's happening. Oh, there we go. Well, these chairs are literally dangerous.
They were not made for large Canadians.
I'm kind of still. The fact that I'm between you guys actually makes me feel a little more.
I think if
secure.
we push together, we'll be more stable.
Hold on to each other, guys.
So, for those watching, in case you don't know these two, we've got Seth Rogen, who is one of the stars of Neighbors, which premiered Saturday night. And we've got Evan Goldberg, who produced it?
Produced it.
Yes.
Produced it,
Produced the
okay.
hell out of it, man.
He did.
I really gave him my all.
He did. 100%. 110%.
And you've no doubt seen plenty of their other movies. They had their directorial debut last year with This Is the End. They have co-written, produced, executive produced, whatever it may be, a handful of comedies over the last 10 years. And have been friends for far, far longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, with all the different movies that you have made, kind of how do you compare Neighbors to them? Where does it fit in? And kind of what makes it distinct?
A few things. In a sense, I think. I mean, we're always trying to make movies about people our age and that are about things that we're personally going through. And when our friends Andrew and Brendan told us the idea, the concept of making a movie about like parents who are struggling with having kids and wishing they could party more and struggling with the fact that they're growing up, like that was really appealing an idea.
Since
basically.
we are getting lamer
Since we're exactly
as
those
time
people.
goes on.
So yeah, like I realize I'm more likely to be the guy calling the cops on a party than being the guy having a
Well, you know what it
party
is?
that's
It's when you
getting
got
called
into
the cops.
smoking meat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when I knew we were like old. I was like, oh,
yeah, like
this is not some people don't get into.
a good smoked
14
brisket.
hours of smoking
Yeah,
brisket.
exactly. That's a sign.
No, in this town.
In this town, maybe that is cool, but in LA, yeah, it's not. But and also, honestly, like the idea was very like simple and honestly a lot more commercial than a lot of our ideas that we generally work on. And it was very appealing to us to do an idea that just when you heard it sounded like a really simple, clear, funny idea.
Right.
It was normally our ideas are like actors playing themselves in the apocalypse, which on paper maybe isn't as commercially appealing as, you know, a new couple, a couple with a baby and a frat face off.
So because, you know, people who are not here on Saturday night haven't seen it, what is the basic premise? How would you
Describe the movie.
Yeah.
It's about a couple. They're
Yep.
both morons.
Yes.
They have a child, and a frat moves in next door, and they butt heads very hard and like an intense rivalry begins.
Yeah, it's like we're struggling with the fact that we can't like go out and drink anymore. So when the frat like first moves in, we like kind of think, oh, it might be cool. Like maybe we can hang out with them, and then it quickly becomes clear that it's like a horrible situation, and yeah, like a war ensues.
And so you in the movie are married to Rose Byrne.
Yes.
And then the president of the fraternity that moves in next door is Zac Efron,
Yes.
and then a bunch of other actors that people will recognize from
Yeah.
movies you guys have done.
Yeah,
Dave
Dave Franco, Christmas Ploss, and Ike Barinholtz.
Gerard Carmichael's a new one.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's a hilarious comedian we got in.
Lisa Kudrow's in it. Yeah, it's Hannibal Buress, who's one of my favorite stand-up comedians. Yeah, it has a really awesome cast. Everyone in the movie is hilarious.
And something that I wrote about yesterday, and it was that I asked Nick about, Nick Stoller, who directed the movie the day before, was kind of how Zach matched up with all of you guys, because everybody knows how funny most of the people you just mentioned are. Kind of, what are his chops? How did he balance himself against the rest of you?
Someone his age hasn't done as much acting as him usually.
Right.
That guy's been the star of numerous movies.
Yeah, he's very experienced, so he knows a lot just about how movies are made, which is very helpful for, making a movie like this. He was really funny. He's like a very serious actor, which I didn't know what to expect, but he really took the character seriously and wanted it to be.
He was hard on himself.
Yeah, he was very hard on himself and his performance. But he was also very loose and was willing to improvise. It was very impressive. I would love to work with him again in a second. He's great in the movie. He's really funny and intense and
it's
kind of
crazy,
crazy.
He never did improv like this, and he just did it as well as everyone, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was great.
He didn't have training for that type of acting, and he just nailed it.
Yeah. How much of the dialogue and what happens was improvised versus in the original script?
It's quite a bit of it.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
The premises of the scene
was the same.
But
we improvised very heavily in the movie, but it feels tight though. That's actually one of the most impressive things when I watch it is considering there's so much improv in it. When I watch the movie, it feels like it's very well constructed, which is a testament to the editing, if nothing else.
Yeah.
That it seems like it's written like a good movie, and it was, but most of the stuff was come up with on the day.
Were there particular jokes or gags that you wish had been able to make it in the movie?
What kind of show is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, people who are watching this are probably going to go see the movie, which is one of the raunchier movies this year.
There was a party in the movie. It's implied why the frat had to move out of their old house and move into the new house, and it's because they burned down their house. And we actually filmed the scene where they burned down their house, and it's because they're having a Civil War reenactment. And they lined up the pledges on chairs with their asses out, and they shoved fireworks in their asses in two lines and have a battle basically with the pledges with fireworks out their asses, and then an errant firework goes into the house and burns the house down. And it was really funny. It just honestly for time more than anything we cut it, and we thought it was better to introduce the frat as our neighbors, basically, than setting them up beforehand.
But it essentially justifies buying the DVD.
Exactly, and it's actually in a lot of the trailers, and they've been showing it in the commercials and stuff like that.
Right. Because the cut that they showed or Saturday night wasn't quite the fin.
It's 99.9%. The cut is almost identical.
It's the mixing.
It's the mixing and the color timing, the technical stuff is more what's not finished.
And so, you guys know, or at least you know Nick from Undeclared more than a decade ago. How is he as a director versus some of the other guys that you've worked with, whether it's Judd or anybody else? What makes a Nick Stoller movie different from other comedies that are out there?
Well, what was amazing about this, honestly, is he seemed to make a very conscious effort to really try to hold on to nothing that he had done in his other movies. He almost approached it as though it was his first movie in a very admirable, impressive way. That's not to say he wasn't prepared and on top of his shit, just technically, but he hired a new DP and a new editor. He made it look very different. He seemed to do jokes that normally he would be very uncomfortable with. He's a waspy dude. And so, it was very impressive to see that, he was deliberately trying to make something that was very different than the other stuff he had done. And I love the other stuff he's done. So, I could see why you would not want to change up the formula as much,
Right.
but he really did. So, if anything, nothing makes a Nick Stoller movie, which is what's so impressive. Like, it seems like someone, if I think people will be surprised when they see the same guy directed this as directed, like, forgetting
Muppet.
Sarah
Well, he
Marshall,
didn't direct
and
Muppets,
he wrote the
but-
Muppets,
yeah.
though. Like, I mean, it's a different
Yeah,
sensibility.
it seems like it's directed by a crazy young guy. It's
Yeah.
a crazy new dude.
Not like a very smart, sensible Harvard graduate.
One of the things you hear so much at a film festival is people who actually like to work with first-time directors because they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They break a bunch of rules that they don't even know exist in
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah, and I think like you can do that if you're not a first-time director too. But it's very. I mean, we just directed our second movie, and we really tried to make it look different and feel different and tonally be different, and it's terrifying. And every day I'd be like, man, I hope it's not a bad idea that we're just not doing the thing we know works really well.
Yeah.
Because it would be so much easier and less stressful if we did, honestly. And same with Nick. Like, it's much, it's much easier to do something similar, and it's much less comfortable to do something totally different. And
Yeah, and it's a crazy
Yeah.
thing to do when you have way less time than usual. Like,
Yeah.
This was a much smaller movie financially than Nick ever made, so he had less time
Really?
and he had to do it differently.
yeah, this was a very inexpensive movie.
So, how did directing a movie change? Did directing a movie change the way either of you approach projects you work on now? I mean,
Changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, nothing's the same. Like, the amount we understand about camera work compared to before.
Yeah,
like,
and just how the whole thing works. I mean,
the editorial process really is the most mind-blowing thing.
yeah, and now you know more because we know more what we need. Like literally the pieces that are needed to make the scenes work, the shots that we might be missing, the things that we might want to do in the shot to give us more options when we're in the editing room. I mean, I think.
do you find yourself thinking about those things while you're acting, or do you try and tune that out because you want to?
I do at times, more so when I'm directing than when I'm acting in a movie that someone else is directing. I'll let them. If something's technically wrong, I won't worry about it. But if I'm acting and directing, sometimes I'll literally just like see the camera doing something I know it shouldn't be doing, and it will 100% pull me out of the scene. That's all I'm thinking is like, no, this is going to be usable.
Yeah, it's funny, but you're always like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Because like as an actor, I guess they're used to the people just acting.
going along.
Not being like, you're not
I feel
doing
bad
camera
for
shit,
I
right?
feel bad for the other actors because I know they can tell that I'm not in it, and all I'm hearing is like the squeaky wheel on the dolly that I know will make all this stuff unusable.
What was the movie that you guys just finished making? Was that?
It's called The Interview, and
Okay.
it's with Seth and James Franco.
Yeah, we played two journalists who get an interview with Kim Jong-un after we hear he's a fan of our entertainment talk show. And then the CIA asks us to assassinate him while we're interviewing him, and we agree to attempt to do that.
And did you guys write this one as well?
No, this guy
we
came
came with
Sterling.
we wrote the story. You came with the story for it, but then we worked with this guy, Dan Sterling. who-
It's a little political, and we're not very political. So
Yeah.
we need to hire someone who's just a bit smarter than us.
and it's we just finished like a couple months ago. We're still editing it, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, there is a fascination with North Korea.
There really is.
You know
I
why?
mean,
Because it's fucking crazy.
because it's crazy, and
It's
it's
the craziest place
It's
on the
weird
planet.
that it exists in our world, and in a way, yeah. I mean, I think it's something that is so in the ether. It just seemed hard for us to like creatively ignore it as something that was very fertile to make a movie about. You know? Yeah. And the fact that they let us do it is honestly crazy. And the fact that Kim Jong-un is like literally the third lead of the movie is also something that I'm curious.
I'm assuming that you have someone playing Kim.
It's actually no, that would be amazing. Yeah, no, we haven't.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was unavailable.
Who plays him?
Randall
A
Park.
guy named Randall Park. He's on Veep. He's actually in Neighbors very, very briefly as well. But he's amazing. And it was, it was a little disconcerting at times.
Well, you guys seem to have just a lot of projects kind of going right now in different stages, because you're also working on Sausage Party.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which I've heard only amazing things.
It's gonna change the world.
Yeah.